Good evening everyone and welcome to Newsreel 2012, presented to you this year by Carl Stredder and Mike Breeze.
Good evening. What a year Burnley has had. I don't know where to start. It's been the anniversary of the Titanic disaster, and for the second year running we have had Soccer 6.
We've had a couple of canal events, and of course London was picked to host the Olympic Games, with Burnley being part of the Olympic torch route.
Our cameras were at Barley in August, where a walk up Pendle Hill took place. It was 400 years to the day that history tells us 9 people were hung for no reason other than being poverty-stricken and trying to feed their families.
Yes, some bright spark gave these poor souls a name. People finding themselves in this unfortunate position were known as witches. The date was an acknowledgement of their death because of total ignorance, but mainly the Walk Up Pendle was a wonderful charity event organised for Pendleside Hospice.
Burnley's proudest event this year has been the visit of our monarch. Not only the Queen, but the Duke of Edinburgh and Prince Charles in an unprecedented visit together. And we were there.
But we start tonight with a young cricketer's proudest moment. The event took place just before Christmas last year at the Town Hall. Yes, we are back at the beginning of December last year for our first report. On the 8th of that month, a young sportsman was granted an honorary freedom of the borough. At the Town Hall, a special meeting of the council was convened to convey this honour to cricketer James Anderson. The Mayor and Mayoress of Burnley, Councillor and Mrs Hegginbottom greeted Mr Anderson at the Town Hall foyer, where the press were assembled to take the usual photos. A nice touch with the Christmas tree. Then it was upstairs to the council chambers, but not before more photos were taken.
And squeeze in, that's it, straight away, nice big smiles, big smiles. Stay there, one more, that's it, big smile. Members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding and receive his worshipful the Mayor, Councillor Mr David Hegginbottom. Thank you.
Thank you. May I sit, please?
After the Mayor made formal introductions, he invited Councillor Andy Tatchell to propose the resolution. Councillor Charlie Briggs was then invited to second the motion. Then Councillor Julie Cooper supported the motion.
I now invite Councillor Julie Cooper to speak in support of it.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, Madam Mayoress, James, distinguished guests, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen. It really is exciting to be involved in this tonight. In December 2002,
After which, Peter Doyle also supported the motion.
And an excellent role model for our young people.
Councillor Stroll, inspired by myself, Chief Executive,
The ayes and nays then declared the motion carried. James was a very proud young man. This honour had only been conferred to 22 others since its introduction in 1885. Our Mayor too was a very proud man.
Well, it's a great honour, but tonight is one of the greatest accolades that Burnley could confer on any of its residents. He's a tremendous ambassador for Burnley, and it's been a great honour for me to be able to do it. I really am, proud as punch I am.
To put into words, I'm just very proud, and But you know, for someone as young as I am, to be in the company that I'm in with the 22 other people that have received this, it's just a huge honour.
Another fundraiser for the Mayor's charity this year was a St Patrick's Day Bash at Townley Hall. On the 17th of March, Councillor Hegginbottom, our Mayor, arranged an evening of entertainment and dancing with a hot supper. Invited guests enjoyed a great evening raising money for Pendleside Hospice, the Mayor's charity. The Mayor then welcomed everyone and started the evening going with a game. The tone was set for a fun evening.
You all heard of that? It's a pound a go. All the money we raise tonight is going to Pendleside Hospice. Not to my charity, which is a cruise around the world, but there we go.
Soon it was time to eat, and guests took their place for a serving of a very tasty hot supper. After supper, guests were treated to a wonderful display of the river dance by the East Lancashire School of Dance. "11-year-old Alexandria had been waiting for weeks to sing for the Mayor's St Patrick's evening, and now it was here.
Hope you enjoyed the evening so far. Now, the stage name is Alexandria. Alexandria Pollard, and she's going to sing 4 songs, Alexandria. She was a finalist in the Burnley's Got Talent show. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexandria Pollard.
This very special night was rounded off with a spot of Irish folk dancing. Mayor Councillor Hegginbottom was only too delighted to express his thoughts on this wonderful night.
This occasion is... Tonight is a St Patrick's event organised by yours truly on behalf of the Pendleside Hospice charity. As you know, Mayor's charity this year is Pendleside Hospice, a very worthy charity and one that takes an awful lot of money to sustain. So Mayor and myself have had this our 3rd event. We had a Mayor's night in February, we had a musical evening in March, and we've had this St Patrick's night tonight. On behalf of myself and of the council and of the people of Burnley, it's yourselves, like the Burnley filmmakers, who keep records. And records will be here after we've all gone. And let's hope that in years to come, people will look back and say, that was Burnley moving forward, Burnley at its best, and the people enjoying themselves. Burnley filmmakers, thank you for the privilege. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Back to the dance.
Back to the dance. Very nice.
It won't be all that easy to remember, but the 25th of April this year was in fact a beautiful day, which was ideal for model car enthusiasts. Down at the Lomeshaye racetrack, the Pendle and District Model Car Club were enjoying a good day at the races. We spoke to one of the officials.
It's just the end of our winter season championship. We normally have about 12 rounds in that series. Unfortunately, because of weather conditions, this is only the 4th round, but it's the last round of the championship today.
One eight nitro buggy. 3.5cc nitro fuel engine, 4-wheel drive.
I believe somewhere here is a young national champion.
21 years of practice, I should be pretty good, shouldn't I?
You know a lot about your cars and such like that.
I know enough, but my dad's the brains of the operation, let's be honest.
Neil started when he was 7.
Right.
He's 28 now. And I was doing it for maybe 5 years before that.
Very good. Excellent.
And then he got better than me, so I give up.
These cables over the track are the electronic starting device. When each of the cars go under, they are in the race.
The forces needed to break one of these a lot more than an ordinary car.
Then, of course, there's the usual pit stop for refuelling. Stewards are on duty on various parts of the track to free cars that have got stuck or tip over. This is allowed.
Started this club with my son about 25 years ago, and we moved to this side in 1992. We held the European Championships here in 1994.
I think if wings were fitted, they would take off. So, if you fancy a day at the races, check out one of these venues. In April, it was 100 years since the sinking of the SS Titanic. Marking this tragic occasion, former engineer Maurice Hesse launched his very own Titanic in Thompsons Park. This beautiful scale model had taken 4 years to build, and we were there to see the launch.
Well, good morning, Maurice, and thanks for coming along on this beautiful wet spring morning to launch your fantastic boat, the HMS Titanic. But we were just wondering whether, due to this inclement weather, you may be a little bit disturbed in case the boat was to hit some unseemly object just below the water surface.
Yes, I was a bit concerned of the wind blowing it over more than hitting anything. Which it nearly did at one stage.
So do you think everything went according to plan?
I think so, yeah.
So you didn't have any waders with you in the boot?
No, but I've got a 6'3" fella with me who's big enough.
So you reckon the boat performed quite well, eh?
As well as it should do, really.
Was it fully equipped? Did you have your wireless operator on board that was familiar with Morse code?
He wasn't available. He was down in the galley cooking.
Oh, so he missed all the excitement then?
He did.
Okay. long did it take you to make the boat?
It took me 4 years, but I was not continuous. That was on and off for 4 years.
Is this your first time at model making?
No, I've been model making all my life. From steam engines to aeroplanes to anything.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. Maybe you should have brought some of them along as well.
Oh, there you go.
So, have you enjoyed your stay here in Burnley?
Oh, well, yeah, I love it. I'm stopping. I've been here 30 years, yeah.
Very good.
About the boat, it's 1/200 scale. It's even got little people on board, which I think you've been filming. And it's 53 inches long, so it weighs about 20 pounds. So that's basically about it.
And what fuel does it run on?
Electric.
It's battery electric?
Yeah, it's electric.
I saw you earlier giving it a little injection.
That was for the smoke generation.
I see, yeah.
But it didn't seem to work right well.
You think the boilers had already gone out?
I think they might have done, yeah. They're a bit of iceberg, I think.
Well, I hope it's free to sail another day.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Morris, for coming along today. I'm afraid the weather could have been better, but there you go.
Well, thanks for coming. Thank you very much.
Crowds have lined the canal in their hundreds, but what makes this royal visit even more special is that they're getting 3 royals for the price of 1.
The Queen, Duke of Edinburgh and Prince Charles visited Burnley in May as part of the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Tour. The royal party were greeted by hundreds of well-wishers who lined the town's streets. The royal party took a trip along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal to the Weavers' Triangle, where the Queen addressed the crowds at the start of the Prince's Charities Regeneration Summit.
I'm delighted to be in Burnley at the start of this Jubilee tour of the northwest of England. Over the next 2 days, Prince Philip and I look forward to seeing much of the hospitality and the dynamism for which this part of England is rightly renowned. And I'm particularly pleased to be here in Slater Terrace at the Weavers' Triangle, whose buildings form one of the finest surviving Victorian industrial landscapes in the country. I have been interested to learn today about the work undertaken by the Prince's Charities to transform lives and build sustainable communities. By joining forces with local groups here in Burnley, they have helped to make a considerable difference to the town and its people.
The Queen and Duke of Edinburgh continued their Burnley visit with a trip to the University of Central Lancashire campus at Burnley College, where they met staff and students, and the Queen officially opened the University of Central Lancashire at Burnley College. For the final part of the royal visit to Burnley, the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh visited Turf Moor, home of Burnley Football Club, where they attended lunch hosted by Football Club chairman Barry Kilby. Burnley filmmaker member Cllr Stredder caught up with Barry Kilby for his comments on the royal visit.
It went extremely well. The Queen was delighted, certainly with the turnout, the warm welcome she got from the Burnley people, and she was extremely interested in the history of this football club that's been around for 128 years.
Becoming the new mayor and meeting the Queen all on the same day had been a hectic start for our new mayor. So Cllr Charles Bullas and his wife, the new mayoress, Mrs Irene Bullas, were pleased to have a relatively relaxing Mayor at Home event. Tuesday the 22nd of May, members of the public and local organisations were cordially invited to the town hall to meet the mayor and mayoress. It was a lovely social afternoon with a constant flow of tea and sandwiches. People met the mayor and mayoress and enjoyed a most casual atmosphere. On the top table, mayors and dignitaries from other local councils were also enjoying the occasion. The main part of the afternoon was, of course, the raffle.
Yellow 444.
The mayor's assistant, David Farrer, called out the winning tickets with great finesse.
Blue ticket 86.
I asked the mayor how he coped with the busy start to his term in office.
Last Wednesday was Mayor Making Day, which was a strange day and a one-off day whereby David Hegginbottom, who was the mayor until lunchtime. He met the Queen in the morning. At lunchtime, we changed roles. I became mayor, and I shot over to Accrington to meet the Queen as well. The charities are the Burnleys Hospice, this one, and other small charities within the town and small organisations.
The mayoress was quite looking forward to the Queen's garden party.
Well, I'm looking forward next week to Buckingham Palace, to the garden party. Oh, you're going to the garden party? Next month, the garden party, yes. And then there's the civic ball, and Charlie's organising a golf competition on the 8th of June.
Good evening, welcome to a rather special gathering, the very first Young People's Question Time from here, at St John Thursby Community College in Burnley, but you already knew that.
29th of May this year, Burnley Sixth Form hosted a Schools Question Time, where young people of Burnley put questions to our local MP and local dignitaries.
2009, some £33 million was spent on this complex, and it's all very shiny and spanking new, as you can see here in the hall this tea time. And will be provided by our panel. As you can see, it's a glittering one we've got in the evening sunshine. So could you give them all a round of applause? Allow me to introduce them to you in no particular order. We've got Mr. Gordon Birtwistle with us. Chris Daggett. Editor of the Burnley Express, and so of course has a wealth of insight into local matters, some of the questions you will pose this evening, I'm sure. We've also got Kevin Keith with us. Kevin. In charge of the Burnley brand manager. And it's not just this world we're interested in tonight, because if we need divine inspiration, we can call on our final panel member, Father Peter Hapgood-Strickland.
I'll answer that in two ways. Individual churches do quite a lot across the town in bringing young people together. My own church, we have about 100 and odd youngsters come during the week for various activities, often related to things like scouts and guides. We have a Sunday school. And on the other side, we work together with something called Building Bridges in Burnley.
Could you not lease the shops, rent-free, to community projects or schools who can display what is happening in and around Burnley?
If you would, Mr. Birtwistle.
I think that's a great idea. It is, the government are already looking at that and they're trialling it in a couple of towns down south. I think it's an excellent idea. The only problem we've got is obviously that the shops in Burnley are in the main privately owned. Now, it would have to be a deal between the group that wish to take the shop on and the landlord, how there obviously could be, if there's any finance needed. But I think it's a great idea. I think we need a shop window in town to show what young people do.
Let me just thank the panel as well on your behalf. Kevin Keith and Father Peter Hapgood Strickland, Chris Daggett, Licia Foley, Gordon Birtwistle, for them and for yourselves and your energy and your questions. Give them a round of applause.
The 29th of May this year, talented young singer Nicola Talman gave a charity concert at St John's Church in Higham.
June 2nd and the charity football tournament Soccer 6 made a welcome return to Turf Moor. "16 teams made up of celebrities from the TV and music world provided the entertainment.
Yeah, is that goalie? I'm Danielle, I'm in Doctors at the moment. Hello, I'm Victoria Atkin, I was in Hollyoaks.
Hi, I'm Deborah, and I play Rachel in Woolpack and Emmerdale.
I'm Charlie, I play Imogen Hollins in Doctors.
I'm Lauren Thomas, I played Alicia Dillon in Waterloo Road.
I'm Scott, I'm from Concept. We're a new boy band. Hey, I'm Matt, I'm from Concept. We're a new boy band.
The boy bands proved very popular with the teenage girls. And 2BR flew the flag for local radio.
Chances this afternoon? I think it's a 50-50 game really. I think if we play well we've got a good chance of winning. We might lose. It's going to be a tough one.
Been in hard training, have we?
Yeah. Physically fit, feeling good.
A good warm-up prior to the game was essential. The street, Corrie that is, was well represented.
Hello, I'm Chris Mountain. I play Tommy Duckworth in Coronation Street. Hopefully we'll win today.
I'm beginning to warm to this event. Manager Colin was well satisfied with her team's performance.
Yeah, thank you.
Who won? Well, a team from Merlin. They cast their spell over the event and won for the second year in succession.
The Queen's official birthday, and Burnley folk are once again out celebrating this incredible year. The iffy weather didn't deter anyone from partying. Street parties were organised all over the town. Everyone having a great time here on Sycamore Avenue. Then off to Scott's Park Road, where the road was officially closed, allowing the party to be free of any traffic problems.
Oh, about 9 o'clock this morning.
What time are you hoping to finish?
About 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I spoke to the couple who helped organise things.
We've been organising this for about 6 months now. There's a few of us on the block on our row that's done it, so it's not just myself, you know, there's 4 of us that's sort of been like the committee.
It's for the Queen's Jubilee, yes, and we had one last year for the wedding, so we're used to this now.
Yes, we've had to get the council to give us permission to block the road off, yeah. We've got it blocked off 2 o'clock till 10 tonight, so that's really good. Last year they only gave us 1 till 7, so we managed to get a bit of an extension on that. So we can't just do it, of course, you can't without the council say so.
So long because it's my wife that's done it, not me, if I'm being honest, and I'm always honest.
All the food, Jacob's joined, everybody's brought bits of this and bits of that, so as you can see there's lots of it. We've got some games probably for the children later, face painting and all this, you know.
I tactfully asked these ladies if they remember our Queen's coronation.
Where were you?
Well, to be honest, there was one lady had a television down our street and we all went in her house to watch the television. And she was the only one that had a television. So that was good. I remember that really well.
I went to Ardle. I don't know if you remember. There used to be a shop called Ardle in town that sold Ardle TVs. And we went there to watch it. That was good.
And this is what things are like on Clifton Street. And now to Extwistle Square.
We're very pleased that you've attended our Jubilee party in honour of our Queen.
Cheers. Cheers.
Happy Jubilee.
I don't know. How long did it take me to say? No.
We made the cake.
It took me about half an hour to decorate it, an hour to make. This is for the Friends of Extwistle Square. We've done the Silver Jubilee, we've done the Golden Jubilee, so now we're doing the Diamond Jubilee for our Queen. Sure. Look at that.
Sponsored by Ann Summers. Have you got
Queen? To the Queen.
To the Queen. Yeah, to the Queen.
That same evening, all over the country, beacons were being lit, and again Burnley got in on the act. Burnley's Beacon was on Crown Point, and at precisely 10:15 on the 4th of June, it was lit. We spoke to the man from Bruncher Action Group who had the honour of lighting it.
The beacons map a certain route across the country. They're all lit at a specific time, which is given by a gentleman from the palace. Ours up here at Crown Point was originally going to be a huge straw bale and brushwood bonfire. Because of all the wonderful weather we've had just recently, the fire brigade sort of no-noed that. So the council very kindly bought one of the Jubilee beacons, and we'll be lighting that at exactly 10:15.
A small gathering had assembled to watch what will be another historic occasion. In the distance we could see other areas doing their bit. "10:15 was soon upon us. After one false start, David managed to do the necessary.
Remind me again why I'm marrying you.
Right, Dave, hey. Oh!
Turn it off.
What a spectacular sight! Here at Crown Point, above our town, our glowing light, adding to the many beacons shining around the country, celebrating our Queen's Jubilee. What a year Burnley's had, what with the Queen's Jubilee and of course the Olympic torch coming through our town. The first of our 14 bearers to go through Burnley was Bend It Like Beckham film director Gurinder Chaddow.
Well, I have to say I'm quite overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by the symbolism of the fact that I will be the only person in the whole world carrying the Olympic flame at that particular time.
Then, the most poignant part of the day, Gurinder's torch, the first Olympic torch to make its way through Burnley, was about to be lit. It is lit from what seems to be a small enclosed miner's lamp. This, presumably, is how it's been transported. A quick word with our town leaders confirms everyone's pride and delight.
It's been a great year for Burnley, and the people actually have really made it worthwhile because they've really turned out, appreciated it, and I think enjoyed it, and that's great, isn't it?
No, absolutely, it's fantastic, isn't it? What a year Burnley's having. It's so incredible. And look at the crowds. Who says that Burnley died? It's alive, it's throbbing, it's wonderful. Have a good day.
Now in anticipation like everyone else. But it's wonderful, what a lovely turnout, and him up there's been good to us, hasn't he? After yesterday, so marvellous, absolutely marvellous.
At the lunch break, we spoke to two of our local torchbearers.
I'm the third runner when we set off from here, so I'm doing from Healy Mount to Rosehill Road, and I'm from Rosehill Road upwards.
It's absolutely fantastic, great day for Burnley. You see all Burnley's enjoying it. I'm so proud that we put on such an event, and I feel so just proud to be British, proud to be from Burnley.
It was soon time for the Olympic torch to leave our town and carry on its way around the country. The folk of Burnley can be very proud of being chosen to play a small part in the build-up to the Games. And now, as the flame passes through the lights at Rosendale Road on its way south and the crowds all make their way home, we can say to ourselves, I was there, because it's safe to say that most of us who have watched this wonderful day unfold will not see another. One of the most hard-working group of people in our area are the staff and volunteers of Pendleside Hospice. And along with a group of lady fundraisers from Fence Village, On the 27th of June this year, a wonderful tea party was put on for patients and carers. With the kindness of Mr. and Mrs. David, their home was a perfect setting for the event.
We have a group, a fundraising group in the village. All the ladies who we saw just now who were coming to help with the tea. And that's been going for 20 years, probably, before that. In fact, I was a daycare patient as well, so I'm obviously very keen on doing it. But we often have functions up here, because it's so nice to have the garden full or the house full at Christmas, and yeah.
This is a very English tea party, or British tea party for the patients of Pendleside Hospice Day Therapy Unit and their carers. It was Carers Week last week, so this is sort of to end the week, and it's just really for people to get together with their loved ones and people that care for them and have a really good day out together.
Are they still feeding the faces?
They are indeed still feeding the faces.
They're terrible. You're still feeding your faces.
I'm having a cup of tea.
You're ashamed of yourself. I've won a prize on that, Luke.
Have you enjoyed yourself today?
Yes, I have, darling.
Could you?
I look like
Lizzie.
Margaret Rutherford. I know.
Can you tell
I've come as Miss Marple.
a little bit about what's today and how it was organised?
Today is a day for all the patients who come to day therapy at Pendleside Hospice and for their families. And it's just a lovely tea party. There's going to be entertainment, there's games. And it's the culmination of last week. We had Carers Week. I'm a complementary therapist, so we provided therapies in the hospice, aromatherapy, massage, all those lovely things for all these fantastic carers to come in and have a little bit of peace and quiet.
The wonderful voice of Wayne Farrell helped the afternoon go with the swing.
This is the moment. This is the day when I send all my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play. Is here and now.
So once again we must thank everyone concerned with Pendleside Hospice and the wonderful work that they do.
The Burnley Mechanics was the venue for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Community Awards. The evening was hosted by Simon Brierley of 2BR Radio.
So we're here tonight celebrating, as everything tells us, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, but actually we're here celebrating Burnley.
The awards were presented by actor John McArdle, who explained his connections with Burnley.
In the 70s, I went off to London, to drama school, and there I met a Burnley girl. You see, everyone thinks that the big society is something new, but it's not really. It's been there all the time, hasn't it? And that these people here tonight are here to prove it.
So who's proud of Burnley? Let's get into the awards. The first award is the Community Champion category. And this recognises people who make a real difference in their community, make their neighbourhood and town a better place, and give up loads of their free time to do that.
And the winner is Alan Scholes.
I'm privileged to work with people of Burnley. We have a fabulous town, we have fabulous people, community work and community life is vibrant in the town, and generally speaking there's never a shortage of volunteers to do it.
So, our next two awards are for young people. And when these awards were first thought of, councillors were very clear that there should be a big emphasis on young people, after all, the future of the town. So the first of the two is the award recognising exceptional achievement by young people in a uniformed organisation. Young people who offer an example, young people who raise aspirations and continually show Burnley in the best possible light. Again, the nominees in alphabetical order. And first nominee is all the members of the Burnley Training Corps. Our second nominee, Charlotte Brigden. Charlotte is a cadet warrant officer with the ATC. She flew solo for the first time a few months ago. Her nominator said, and I'm quoting, "Charlotte is extremely reliable and conscientious. She's responsible for training and supporting young members who has a huge impact on their development. Charlotte is also a leader of the local scout group, working with Beavers, Cubs and Scouts most Thursday nights. Presumably you've got a night off tonight."
The winner is Charlotte Brigden.
Well done, Charlotte. I'm not going to expect you to give a big speech. Just I'm going to ask you one simple question. What does it feel like to fly solo?
The final award of the evening was the Mayor's Special Award.
As Mayor, I was given the extra joy of choosing a shortlist for my own special award. I chose to highlight people who I thought should be celebrated in themselves, but are also examples of the best qualities of all the award winners. I would like to welcome the winners of my special award, Mary and Eddie Cliff, to the stage, but unfortunately, Eddie can't be with us tonight.
We're fantastic people, so with God and family, you can do anything, but you know the people of Burnley, people come to me, you are fantastic, you're so warm, you're loving, you're caring, you know, and we have a great place here.
I'm going to close the evening with music from the Sir John Thursby Community Steel Band. Now let me tell you.
The Queen's Diamond Jubilee Awards, a fantastic evening celebrating the work of all the volunteers in Burnley.
On the 18th of August this year, the same date as the famous witch trials 400 years ago, a sponsored walk up Pendle Hill supporting Pendleside Hospice took place. We had a word with the organisers.
I think we felt that, you know, the 400th anniversary, we're never going to live through a better opportunity to promote Pendle positively. And obviously if we could do that and create an event which raised plenty of money for Pendleside Hospice as well, then we thought all well and good.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it's taking shape now. We'll be set up and running in probably about half an hour and then we'll be good to go.
At the crack of dawn, Barrowford artist Philip Hanford and his team had climbed Pendle Hill. They had been laying 1,250 metres of white material, marking out in giant letters the year of the witch trials, 1612. This magnificent spectacle could be seen for miles. The day was a real fun day, not only for walkers, but also for all the family. Over 1,000 people turned out for the trek up Pendle Hill, with just over half achieving a world record for the most people dressed as witches in one place.
Well, that's certainly 400 years of it, eh? Who would have thought?
You've waited a long time for this, haven't you?
I can get that sort of thing at home when the wife's mother comes out. Marvellous, what a great turnout.
It is, yes. So far,
absolutely great.
What's your role in the proceedings?
Well, I'm going to see everybody off, and of course, as a keen walker myself, I'll be heading off to the pub and then counting them all out and counting them all back in again.
Time now for Ted to announce the official final count.
The total in this official Guinness World Record attempt for the largest gathering of people dressed as witches is, drumroll, 482! But that is not a record till Big Normans let one off.
Then they were off. The weather was still holding as the brave walkers set off up Pendle Hill. Yes, the fun bit was over now and time for a bit more serious walking.
Grandma passed away, Pendleside helped her, and my granddad's just come out of Pendleside.
Yeah, we did it.
And then there was our very own Margaret Ingle.
Harder than I thought, but I've done it anyway. So there we are, there's life in the old dog yet.
The record was set at 250 that the Guinness World Record wanted us to have, so nearly doubling it was been, really fantastic.
The day ended with some wonderful entertainment on Barley Green. A big thank you must go to everyone concerned with the organising of this wonderful event.
to Burnley Canal Festival 2012. My name's John from 99.8 FM 2BR. Plenty of stuff going on today, as always, from 2 o'clock this afternoon. The Weavers Triangle Visitor Centre is open. Loads of stuff for you to check out there, including lace-making demonstrations. Also, later on, you can get on the Pendle Explorer for a boat trip as well, down Leeds Liverpool Canal. 1:30 this afternoon, you can do that. Loads of stalls here at Sandygate Square as well. Loads of things happening, loads of craft stalls, loads of other things as well. You can get loads of food too. Slater Terrace is open today as well, and tonight there's going to be a giant fireworks display too, and loads of live music down the inn on the wall.
The Weavers Triangle was the base for the Burnley Canal Festival 2012. The Bishop of Burnley, John Goddard, was there to give his support.
Here at this canal festival, because I think the canals are important to us here in the northwest, and particularly in Burnley, where I hope we might one day become like Manchester in having a canal that people will be proud to visit and use the town. I myself am a boat owner. I have a 45-footer Jasmine, an old boat, a wooden top, now moored at Rufford. That's why it's not here today. It would take me a good week to get it up through the Wigan flight. But this is a good time to have a festival here in Burnley, and I hope we begin to cherish our heritage of these canals.
The boats started to arrive on Friday. One of the early arrivals was the Kennet museum boat.
The historic boat Kennet has been used for promoting the canal for over 25 years now. Initially it was done by British Waterways, and then they reduced the amount of money that they had for operating it, and so about 4 years ago the Canal Society suggested to them that we took it over and operated it on their behalf. With the transition to the Canal and River Trust now, with the canals becoming a charity, they were trying to get rid of their historic boats, and so they sold Kennet to the Canal Society so that we could continue using it as a display boat, promoting the canal and promoting the heritage of the canal.
Say so, and we hope so, and we said, oh, woman, that those will die out for all us.
In the evening, the canal boats joined in procession, travelling up the canal a few miles, returning to Burnley in the dark, decorated and lit in splendour. On arriving at Burnley, the Mayor, Charles Bullas, addressed the crowds.
The Heritage Lottery Fund has funded this year's and the 2013 festival, so you'll be able to come back again next year for it if you enjoy it.
Our town of Burnley is situated in an idyllic area of the northwest of England, where modern, up-to-date buildings and facilities blend perfectly with a sense of pride in its historic past, of which there is an inexhaustible amount. Our newsreel this year has touched on some of our colourful history. Of course, Burnley's jewel in the crown is its beautiful surroundings, with incredible views only a stone's throw away. And Burnley filmmakers take great pride and enjoyment in recording events in and around our town each year.
Well, thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed the show.
So we hope to see you again next year. Have a safe journey home, and good night.
Good night.